Welcome to Ctrl+Alt+Narrate, your go-to source for captivating stories and engaging conversations in the world of digital media. We are your hosts, Sneesha and Momna, and join us as we learn about the journeys of our incredible guests from the MDM program.
So Maeve, welcome back from Mexico.
Thank you
Let's
very much.
Ctrl+Alt+Narrate your story. So would you like to start by sharing your educational background and just introducing yourself overall?
Yeah, absolutely. So my background, I got my bachelor's in science, particularly computer science, right here at TMU. Actually just graduated a year ago now. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, I went straight into the Masters of Digital Media program. And here I still am, just looking forward to finishing that up this August.
Is there a PhD in the future?
I don't know, maybe. I'm probably going to get some work experience in something a little bit more ambitious than the call center and retail first.
Fair enough.
Yeah, maybe here doing some more teaching or, I don't know, maybe even in a game studio. I don't know. But yeah, a little bit more of that. And then, yeah, possibly PhD. I don't know.
That sounds very exciting. So let's head into our first segment, loading Who Are You?
So, would you like to start by telling us what made you gravitate towards MDM specifically?
Sure. So as I mentioned, I was here at TMU for my undergrad. And in my undergrad, I had to take some electives, and I saw video games on the open electives chart. And I thought, all right, sounds like a good time. And that's where I met Dr. Chris Alexander when I was taking his intro to video games class. Had such a fun time with that I moved into game mechanics and eventually the game studio class, at the time known as prototyping and testing. Had a great time there. And during, I think it was during mechanics. Yeah, it was. Chris came to us in the class, and he was telling us about how he outside of his office, he had a Nintendo Wii set up with remotes so that students could play and have a great time, but the remotes were stolen and he wanted to replace it.
Oh, no.
I know, yeah. But I and our classmate here in MDM, Angelina, volunteered for the project of making a replacement. So we built the Community Arcade Table 6, or CAT 6, project, which is outside of his office in the Rogers Communications Center to this day, where students can gather and play video games. And sometimes we have student-made games on there to show off to the community.
That's amazing. I actually didn't know that you two were behind that. But it's great.
Yeah. And so from there, from then on, anytime I'd meet any new professor or anyone at the TMU community, Chris would introduce me to them as, this is Maeve Fitzgerald. She doesn't know it yet, but she's going to do a master's with me here. And he said it often enough. And that combined with, gotta be honest, jobs aren't looking so great for computer science.
Oh, no.
I decided to dodge that mess and, give the MDM program a try.
Yeah, and he manifested that for you, which is kind of crazy. That intro class that you were talking about, is that the 900 people class?
It wasn't at the time, but it sure is now. When I took it, I think it ended up being 190 or so.
Wow.
And that was fully remote. Okay. The next year, it was remote again, but it had I think 200 something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then after that, they just opened it up and really advertised it. And so this year, it's been in the Catalyst, or not Catalyst, the Chrysalis Performance Theater, where there's the audience size that can fit all at peak enrollment. I think it was over 900 students for sure.
That's insane.
That's an accomplishment, that's for sure.
Yeah, I know. How does it feel to have been in that class and now see what it's grown to?
Well, to be honest, I'm not surprised. Chris is quite a performer in addition to being a professor. So if anyone looks into his TED Talks, that's a lot of what it's like in his class. He's super charismatic, really cares about what he wants to do. He is not shy to share that his philosophy for teaching is to make sure that everyone feels like he wants to be there. like that is key when teaching. So yeah, that's the energy he brings to the classroom. He also is a streamer, and so he runs his classroom like that as well. And so it's plenty of fun to just tune in and be part of that. So not surprised it's gained a following.
100%. Having taken his class, he definitely has consistent energy and a lot of energy. Like even on days where I'm like, down, he comes in with his energy. It kind of wakes you up and like gets you very engaged. And it's just nice to see professors that care and put that energy into their classes. And speaking of that class, you're TAing that class right now, right?
Well, that's a fall semester only class, but yeah, I was part of that team of TAs. This past semester, he launched a brand new class, one that I hadn't had the opportunity to take, obviously, because it's just new this semester, which was Game Industry and Trends. So that one I TA'd with Cody. And I think... Yeah, and a few of the other TAs from the previous semester, a few new faces. Yeah.
Cool. How exciting. So I have to ask, what's one quote that you'd like to live by?
Yeah, there's not so much a particular quote. If I had to pick maybe a philosophy, I don't know. I just sort of taken things one day at a time. When things get hard, you just got to get through the one day and then worry about the rest later. Sometimes, I don't know, but fortunately I don't tend to need it that often. Yeah.
I was going to ask, would you say that you're a grounded person in that sense?
I think so. I tend to be pretty realistic about things, but a mix of trying to, keep all the doors open, opportunities available, and a fair bit of luck has landed me in a pretty good position now with, all the TAing I've been doing and teaching my first class this past semester as well. So
great accomplishment,
thank
honestly.
you. I'm very proud.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So, I don't know, just generally seeing a future that I like and doing the research and work to get to it.
I see a Professor Maeve in the future coming soon.
Yeah.
To a university near you.
Maybe.
So speaking of grounding, you mentioned that you like gardening and sewing. What do you find so fulfilling about the two hobbies?
Honestly, ever since I was a kid, I've really enjoyed just making things, just the joy of sitting down. Generally, the process itself is pretty therapeutic, but then you get just a nice little reward at the end as well, whether that's fresh veggies during the summer, or pretty flowers to look at during the day, or I don't know, sometimes anything from a stuffed animal for one of my little cousins, or even a dress sometimes.
Oh, so in comparison to that, would you rather prefer something that you actually physically work with your hands on, or something digital media project wise?
Depends on the project, honestly. I just really enjoy, of course, the process of figuring out, there's a lot of problem solving. So whether it's programming or sewing, usually there's a fair bit of math involved, the geometry of sewing, especially when you're figuring out a new project. Some people just go for it. I usually have pages of calculations for dress shapes and making sure that things fall just the way I want them to.
Oh, wow.
And circumferences. There's a lot of geometry.
I'm not surprised. I've seen some of your behind the scenes and I'm like,
yeah.
As someone who's also dabbled in sewing, I'm like, yeah, I could not do that.
I don't think that's typical, but that's my approach. But with both, there's the analytical problem solving, the eureka moments of I've got it, and then being able to put that design solution into the real world and come out and see that it works.
Yeah.
And then also, it's kind of fun to be able to show people I did this.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. I would love to see the behind the scenes one day. That's amazing. The closest I've gotten to is crocheting. I gave up within a month of trying the hobby. It was my COVID try new hobby phase and didn't last too long at all.
I feel like with hobbies like that, you just have to like keep doing it to like then become really good. And sewing is also one of those things where like you have to really practice over and over to get to it. But I've seen like, you know, the dress that you've made for
Eleanor?
Yeah, for Eleanor.
Yeah.
I apologize. But yeah, no, I've seen like the dress that she made. It was absolutely beautiful.
Oh, I'd love to see it.
Yeah, that. No, I did bring that home. I was thinking like, is it in the office upstairs now? But yeah, I can share some pictures of that.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, that certainly took some time. At least that one didn't take so many calculations, really any calculations, because that I just bought a pattern. Like I was so lucky that I found one that was like exactly how our artists had designed her.
Don't we love that?
Made my life easier. So I just had to like follow the pattern and put it together. Yes, that was easier.
Putting math into arts is a talent, I think. I dread math, so that's I don't know how you did it, but
I don't know. I think it's just like I happened to be able to apply it soon after I learned it, like in high school, because I've been doing cosplay since grade 8.
Oh wow, that's a while.
Yeah. So well, yeah, just being able to apply it that way. Yeah.
So I had the opportunity to see how like you created your garden in your home, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. But if you could design a perfect digital garden or a game about plants, what would it look like?
Well, for me, I don't know so much about a digital garden, because I got to be honest, I do love the sort of real world effects of a garden. So I think I'd aim more for a video game that sort of teaches about gardening and the positive impacts it can have. So, I mean, honestly, there's a lot to be said for watching the tiny seeds that you put in the ground start to sprout for the first time. And it's like, they're your babies. They're just the little, like they exist because of you.
Yeah.
And watching them grow up and like seeing how nature interacts with them, whether it's, you know, even the little like micro ecosystem of aphids that try to like eat from your plants, and then the ladybugs that come and eat those and clear them off for you. But most of all, I think I'd love to do a game focused around native gardening, which is something that's something I've really taken a fascination with in the past few years, because it's also just so underrated. So many people who get into gardening, you know, kind of see this struggle against nature with all of the animals in their neighborhoods, bugs, all of that. You know, the struggle against the weather. Is it going to water, or like, is it going to rain enough to water my plants? Do I need to, you know, have enough fertilizer? Is the pH balance right in the soil? Like, there's a lot to consider. But native plants evolved to be exactly where we are. So they are evolved for the exact climate conditions, the exact amount of water, the exact soil types, and everything else that's right where you are. So they're also evolved to replenish themselves all the time. So whether you have... Yeah. So with native plant gardening and everything having been evolved for exactly right here, you never have to worry about if the climate's wrong, if the weather's going to be too hot or too cold, or if there's not going to be enough rain, because they're meant for right here. So once you get the seeds in the ground, they just, you know, the first year they look a little raggedy. They're all leaves and stems and roots.
Yeah.
But the second year you get your first blooms, and the third year they're blooming in full force. And then every single year after that, they are bringing themselves back, whether it's a single plant that just keeps growing every single year, or annuals like the black-eyed Susans usually are, where they die off every year, but they release so many seeds that you get them back fresh the next year no matter what. And so I have this almost... Oh, well.
That was the second time, by the way, but we'll continue.
Yeah. Okay. So I've got this little, like, it's such a pretty garden, but it's almost like a battle of the fittest going on in my backyard, where I introduce new plants every single year and just see what happens to thrive where I put them. And that way, you know, once they're all established, I can just ignore them and there'll be beautiful flowers every single month of the year that I never have to fertilize, never have to weed, never have to water, never have to replant.
Amazing.
And also it's so good for the environment.
Yeah,
and I love seeing
definitely.
like the butterflies and the bees and learning about the endangered species of butterflies and bees that come and visit. It's so nice. It brings me so much joy.
Honestly, I
hear
love
it.
how passionate you are. Like
Yeah.
it's like you can see like how much joy that this brings you, and it's just so refreshing to see that like you're able to like spend and allocate time to that hobby and to like nurture that and make it into something so beautiful.
Yeah.
Considering like, you know, like we currently live in a society where like, you know, we're always so busy all the time because we always have something to work towards, and I think it's nice to like, you know, take time aside to like work on something like this that is wonderful for the environment and something that just also just in general evolves into something beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. Yeah. I'm so proud.
You should be.
100%. And I've seen the pictures. It's stunning.
So now on to our next segment, Control Hot Take, where we ask you spicy / controversial questions and you give us your most honest, blunt opinion ever.
Okay.
I really want to ask you this question. Because like I wrote a paper about it, but I really want to hear your perspective because you are like the video game person in the MDM program. Of course, there's others, but like you were the first person I met who I was like, oh yeah, anything video game related, I can definitely ask Maeve. So, do you think like are video games more diverse than people give them credit for? And could you give us an example of a game that shows you how broad the medium can be?
Oh, absolutely, no doubt. Like there's sort of a stereotype that most video games are action shooters because those are very popular. But yeah, there's so much more out there. And man, I don't know if I'll be able to pick just one because the whole point is the diversity. So one that, at least for an emotional standpoint, is like a really big example of how it's not all just mindless violence is a game called Spiritfarer, which I do believe.
I love that game.
So you know it.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Oh my gosh.
Oh, so have you played it?
I'm going to play
Okay.
it. I've played a little bit, but fun fact, the entire back row of Jeff's video game class is half of this podcast team, and they all collectively decided that I'd be the perfect person to play the game without letting me know. And then they told me at the end, they were like, yeah, you're playing it, by the way. And I'm like, oh, I am. So
with no warning.
with no,
Oh
they,
my
they were
gosh,
like,
it's
oh, you'll love the game at the
destroying
end.
you.
That's kind of foul.
Yeah.
That's kind of foul. Why would they do that?
I mean, there was a reason behind it. We can get into that later, but
Yeah.
it's a beautiful game, and I'm slowly getting into it, and it's really, really cute. And I don't, as much as I hate to admit that they were right, So I genuinely love it. It's so wholesome, and it's very cute and a cozy game.
For a
Very
little
deep.
context about what this game is about, it's
Good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that you've seen the emotional reaction, Spiritfarer is a game where you play as a psychopomp, which is someone who takes souls of the recently departed and helps them travel on to whatever comes next. So in this game, you play as that character who has this boat, and you pick up, they're in like sort of a anthropomorphic animal sort of shape, and you pick them up on your ship and you learn their stories, what they did throughout their lives, who they were, their family, their favorite memories. And as you get to know them, you help them prepare to move on to whatever's next. And so it's a game where one of the mechanics is giving hugs and you need that for yourself as well. And just, so many sweet, tearful goodbyes. I think the game's tagline is even like a game about saying goodbye.
No, don't tell me that. I don't need to know that.
I know.
Honestly, if you're gonna play the game, like just make sure you're not in a public place because you will be bawling your eyes out, and people are gonna look at you being like, "You good?" But
Yeah,
it's
I know.
definitely like an emotional, deep game that touches and pulls your
Yeah.
heartstrings.
Yeah.
And it conveys, sorry to cut you off,
no,
but
go for it.
I think it conveys such a deep topic through something that's gently told.
Mhm.
And it's not in your face, but it's like trying to normalize the fact that, yeah, this does happen in life. People do go through loss and grief, and some parts of it are beautiful and some parts of it are really dark and sad. And I think it's a great game, and I'm really sad and excited to play it. I've only played like I think an hour into it, but I know it's gonna hit me. But I think it's also good therapy for people that have gone through loss. So
Yeah. And then just for a little bit more diversity as well in games, one that I haven't played myself, but I'm aware of, and I definitely like to, a game called Never Alone is a native Alaskan game about just sort of telling like cultural tales in a new medium that's
Right.
more accessible for those around the world. Venba was one that I learned about recently.
Venba is great.
Yeah. Immigration and like keeping culture through food. So many. But yeah, that's,
There's a lot out
I
there.
could go on forever.
I will definitely play Never Alone. I didn't even know that was a game. I could definitely also use that for my thesis. But honestly, like I like that you were able to give us the different perspectives, because action games are very much they're centered in the forefront of a lot of advertising. So it's nice to know that there are other types out there that really there's games for everybody, right?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. No doubt. They're as diverse as TV shows or movies.
100%.
So now for the would you rather questions. We're going to have to answer this as quickly as possible
Rapid
because
fire.
they're meant to be exactly.
Okay.
So would you live in a world where companies create games based on your personal data or internet activity?
I mean, I would live in a world, but I suppose as long as like people know what they're getting into and can opt in or out, I'm still like a little on the fence about that sort of thing for myself. But as long as they're like given the heads up to opt in or out, I think that's fine.
Fair enough.
Would you rather design a game played entirely with your voice or one controlled by facial expressions?
I think voice would be easier to program because like computer vision, and also who can stop themselves from accidentally making a face during a game, especially if the emotions
That's
are hitting.
true. Yeah. I'm a very emoting person. There's random shots of me just having the craziest facial expressions. We'll show you some behind the scenes.
Okay.
It's insane. I'm talking about the chaperone one. We'll give you context.
Okay,
I had the most, okay, maybe I shouldn't say it on camera.
She's just very expressive.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
I mean, it's not a bad thing.
We were
It's-
talking about Spiritfarer. Like I saw her like getting teary-eyed and everything.
Hey, that was not... No, we don't talk about that. Okay. Anyways, would you rather spend a year living on a self-sustaining space station or in an underwater city?
The space station does sound intriguing because, my whole thing about like gardening and everything.
Yep.
And I think that's neat. But I think, I don't know. I think at a certain point, maybe the distance from Earth might get to me. So underwater might be kind of neat. And also cool fish.
Brave. Really brave. Brave.
Okay.
Next one.
So, I hope you like this one. If you could manifest a video game's character's powers in real life, would you rather be an offensive fighter or a sideline healer?
I think healer would be more practical, to be honest. I don't tend to get in a lot of fights, but I am clumsy.
Okay, now we have a little surprise. Hannah, it's time for chaos mode. I did not give myself enough slack. Oh my God. Okay. This is it for today, guys. Hi. Chaos mode with Hannah question, because we brought up gardening a lot.
Okay.
If you could only eat food for a week that starts with the letter of your name, what food would you eat?
Well, I do love mangoes, but couldn't grow them here. But if we're talking internationally, sorry, are we talking just fruits and vegetables or
Anything.
Okay, well, fortunately, I'm in luck because meat. That's
I'm gonna say meat is too vague.
dang it,
Too vague.
rude.
Chaos, man. This is chaos time. Meat is too vague. Try again.
Okay, mangoes and
Meatballs?
Sure.
That's specific enough.
Okay.
I'll give you that.
Meatballs, meatloaf, meringue for dessert.
Meringue's a good one.
Meatloaf.
I said that one. Like drinks. Yeah.
You're like meatloaf.
Yeah. I guess mango juice is a thing. So that's got drinks covered.
Malona?
What is
yeah,
that?
Momna ice cream
Oh,
bars.
like is it a Filipino ice cream or
they're like popsicles.
Yeah.
And like some of the flavors are like, there's like a honeydew one and a banana one and a coconut one. They're really good. They're smoothie kind of texture.
That works for me. Yeah, I'm blanking on things. I
I think that was a pretty good list. But before I go, I want it on the record while I'm in this position that I do not regret forcing Sneesha to play Spirit Fair. Okay, bye.
Yeah, I saw your face.
Yeah, no, she's
we were talking about that.
Yeah, but I will thank her because I think that that's one of the best therapies methods that I've done this year, aside from being a book nerd and reading a bunch of fantasy books. So yeah.
So thank you, Hannah, for coming in and bringing in your chaos. For our next segment, deep dive, no edits, no filter.
Okay, so if there were no obstacles in your path, what would your ideal life be like in one sentence?
Ooh. Well, it's one sentence. Okay. I still am undecided between like teaching about video games and video game production, but so far I'm leaning a bit more towards the educational side. So probably, doing some educational work and then just like, nice house with big garden and, a family. I think that sounds nice.
You know what? I'm so proud of myself for predicting that.
Yeah. It's not revolutionary, but I think it's nice.
No, but I think you're quite humble and happy with the least things in life. And I think that's a great quality to have.
It's the little things in life that, really matter and count, right?
Exactly.
I think that's a beautiful dream.
Thank you.
So, who is one person that inspires you?
Honestly, probably my dad. With like his story, quite a long one, but the gist is like lots of escaping a family cycle of abuse and going out on his own and making sure that my brother and I had the best life possible growing up, which especially given like, the world he came from is really impressive. And he's always been super supportive and just making sure that he has a good life for himself too. So
It sounds like he was really resilient and passed that on to you.
yeah, like to
That's
think
beautiful.
so.
He broke the cycle and you guys are in a good place now. So
Yeah.
I think that's absolutely beautiful.
I'm glad to hear that you guys have a good setting now.
And a good relationship too.
Yeah. So how do you get your motivation back when you face a creative block or go through burnout?
Well, burnout is certainly something I'm familiar with, which for that, I found like a way of, as much as possible, because it's not always super possible, but doing as much as you can to structure your day so that you have like working hours and give yourself, give it your all during those hours with the odd break and lunch preferably. But giving yourself some permission to take a little time for yourself outside of those hours, and to give yourself permission to just turn work off. And if it doesn't get done, it's, not getting done. Of course, you can't do that with everything, but with some things, it's okay if it takes like a day longer. So being able to do that as much as possible, and especially as the weather gets nicer.
Makes a huge difference.
Yeah, one thing that I know it keeps going back to gardening, but sometimes I would have these problems with programming back in my undergrad, where sometimes you just got to look at a different kind of bug.
Yeah.
You got to go outside, stare at some plants.
Oh,
yeah,
literally.
yeah,
touch
literally.
grass.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I'd be like programming and losing my mind, and then just say, I need to look at a different kind of bug. And I'd go outside and look at the butterflies and bees.
Aww.
And it would be nice. And that's a good thing about the warm weather coming in.
Yeah. I am extremely afraid of bugs, so I will have to admire from a distance. I can't do spiders, centipedes, creepy crawlies. Nope, not for me.
Yeah, honestly, it's more about the wordplay there. Like, it's
Ladybugs are pretty though.
Oh yeah, and they eat the aphids, so that's great.
What?
Oh,
What is?
aphids?
Yeah.
Oh, they're like teeny tiny little green bugs that like bite into your plants and drink sort of sugar water that flows through them, which is real bad for the plants and can like kill them, reduce plant yields. So it's a bit of a thing. But the ladybugs, especially the larvae, which look kind of creepy, totally harmless, they feast on the aphids, so they are a friend to have in the garden.
You know, an incredible amount of. I'm learning so much
next
today.
time if I decide to go to Home Depot, I'm just gonna bring you with me.
Yeah, I know,
You're
right?
coming with me
When
and like
decorating my future house, she's gonna be the gardener.
I just got weeds in my backyard, like weeds and rocks. No gardening here, so if I need to talk to someone, I'm just gonna call you, being like, "Hey, you want to come with me and help me set up my garden?"
Yeah.
That's the one thing about this program. We have an expert for literally everything.
Like just
It's so
crazy.
great. Yeah.
Plants.
So time for our next segment: trending or crushing.
Okay.
Do you think that the everything is a subscription model is sustainable, or are we in too deep?
Depends on what you mean by sustainable, because I don't see a major break from that coming anytime soon for a lot of different things, because it is for companies a sustainable way to make sure that they're getting an income even in slow periods. Like I know with like the movie theater, that new subscription program that allows you to see movies cheaper. I'm sure it helps them cover like the periods where there's not really a lot coming out and keep a sustainable income for them.
Mm-hmm.
For people in general, I don't know. I mean, I think it's just a new way of getting the same bills again, like how cable would be like 50 to $100 a month back when, cable TV was the only way of watching TV.
Right.
And then it was a miracle when it suddenly went down to $8 a month. But now if you want to actually see what everyone's watching, you have to get all the different streaming platforms, which end up being $50+ a month. So I think it's just a way of like things are coming back around again. And maybe there'll be a new thing of like, maybe there'll be streaming bundles where you get like multiple services in one for a mildly reduced price. And then that's a thing. And I don't know, there might be a new cycle.
That. You should patent that because someone might just steal that idea from you. Even with the price increases though.
I don't know. I think it's just going the same way as cable. Like how cable, had so many ads on top of the, like you have to pay for the package, and now streaming is doing that. You got to pay the same amount, but it's full of ads.
We love that.
Yeah, because I it would be a quarter of the time you watch is ads, and then streaming reduced that to 0, and now they're slowly putting that back up. So I think it's just a matter of time till a new thing comes in, and it's like, oh no, but it's cheaper and less ads until it's not anymore a decade later. I don't know.
It's a cycle, a
I think it
never-ending
is.
cycle.
Yeah.
Welcome to
speaking of-
capitalism. Sorry.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. Speaking of tech-related things, what's the next biggest tech thing that you think will flop horribly?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know. There's sort of been stagnation in tech lately, which to my understanding is the result of like all the tech giants seeing little startups pop up that could one day be a threat to them but aren't yet, buying them, shutting them down, and that just sort of goes on forever. So that but then with no competition, the giants don't really have any reason to innovate. And so I think that's a reason that there's like not a lot of new, remember back when every time there was a new phone, there'd be like a new crazy feature.
Yes. Yeah. Now it's the same thing again and again
it's like
and again.
there's a little bit of a better camera.
Yeah.
Woo.
I mean,
there's less of a camera. Woo.
right?
Yeah.
They're doing flip phones now.
Yeah. Everything's a cycle.
So, what do you think of the 4 a.m. productivity lifestyle?
Yeah, so that one, as was clarified to me previously, means getting up at 4 a.m.
Yeah. Not sleeping at 4 a.m.
No.
God, nope, not for me. I like sleep. If that works for you and you can have, as long as you're getting like a good 8 hours of sleep somehow, you do you, man. Not me. I'll naturally get up around 8 or so because I like to let the sunlight wake me up, and if that's when sunlight happens, cool. And I'm
Love
pretty
that
good
for
at
you.
yeah, I'm pretty
doing
good
it right.
at allowing myself to go to sleep, like doing the math. Okay, so I should be asleep by midnight. Yep, that's like one thing I've consistently had going for me, but no, not 4 a.m. God, no. That's the worst time to be awake.
Okay. I mean, at least we can agree. What? Agree. Whether you sleep or wake up at 4 a.m., 4 a.m. is just a bad time.
Awful.
Yeah.
So we are nearing the end of our episode. So for our final segment, Alt, before you go.
If you could design a logo for your life, what would it look like? In one sentence.
Oh no. He let me have a little bit of a heads up with the others, but not this. So I didn't. I don't know. I feel like I've been going on about video game and plants, so probably those elements involved. Maybe there's like a plant with gaming things on it. I don't know what that would look like.
I could see for you like a pot with the plant growing, and like the plant is like a controller.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Okay. I thought of like a controller, but with like the joysticks being a plant.
Oh,
Like
that
the-
works.
like
Oh,
sprout.
growing out of the controller.
Yeah, growing
Oh,
out of the thing.
that's cute. I like.
Do you have a joke or a quick piece of advice that you'd like to share with everybody?
I don't know about. Well, a joke off the top of my head, not so much, but advice. One thing that I typically, for a more like university audience, especially, I'm around undergrads a lot, is that moving at this pace of everyone else, like the 4 years, is not a requirement, actually. People often feel like it is. And I think that could be applied to life in general, like move at your own pace. Since for me, I feel like I'm at a pretty good spot now. Like I mentioned, I just taught my first class this past semester. And that is after, in my undergrad, I actually did real bad in my first 2 years, was on probation, required to withdraw, worked for a while, that call center and retail thing I mentioned.
Oh my God.
Yeah, all in all, like then I had to come back part-time for a while. It was a whole thing. All in all, it took like 7 years. But I made it through. By the end, I was in such a good place and with the experience and maturity to do the Cat 6 project, which led me into the master's program now and now into teaching. And so, taking my time ended up working out really well for me.
You're incredibly
Well, thank
accomplished. You got what I was trying to
you.
say.
Yeah, I did.
And we all really look up to you. So
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, you guys are awesome too. I mean, it's been
thanks.
so focused on me, but I know you guys both have like, you not only like this production of a podcast. Oh my gosh.
thank you.
Yeah, and all the rest you get into, it's real cool.
I would say that for you, Maeve, I feel like you were definitely like one of the first MDM, I would say, pillars, because you created the Discord channel. You and Cody as well were like the ones who were giving all the information, like for
Yeah, they
everyone.
mentored us.
And just like, making sure that we all did our assignments and the announcements, like, hey guys, like this is due.
Yeah.
And it's just nice to see that, like we are all on like the journey together. And even if it took you like 7 years for your degree, like we're not in a rat race, right? Like I feel like that's also like a toxic cycle that people can put themselves through if they beat themselves up for it. But it's nice that you are fine that you took your time and you are where you need to be right now, which really does matter in the end. Like if you're happy where you're at, nothing else matters.
Oh, thank you so much.
Maeve is
Yeah.
literally my how to be a grad student dictionary. So
I try my best, but yeah, I'm kind of making it up as I go along too.
I mean, I hope you are proud of yourself because you've accomplished, got it right, so much. Oh my gosh, I'm stuttering a lot today. But next question. Which fictional character would you hire as your personal assistant?
Ooh. Oh, good ones at personal assistant things. The first that immediately comes to mind is not a good choice. I was thinking like Entrapta from the She-Ra reboot because like she knows tech and like is smart and stuff,
Yeah.
but she's also super distractible. She's
True.
just a general favorite character of mine, but like no, she'd get lost in things. I feel like
I love this question.
I don't
Right? Me
know.
too.
Like we were talking about Marvel earlier, so now I'm thinking like Pepper Potts from the Marvel movies did a great job with
That's actually
personal
a
assistant
smart
things.
answer. Yeah.
So yeah, that's my answer.
She got stuff done.
Yeah,
Yeah. She got
fantastic.
stuff
So her.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Favorite TV show or video game of all time?
Probably gotta go back to the classic Avatar: Last Airbender. I
Great
saw
choice.
it in concert
Good
recently.
choice,
It
good
was
choice.
fantastic.
Great choice. I was gonna ask you what your favorite character in the show, who your favorite character in the show was, but
Toph.
I don't know why I thought. No, I knew that. I knew that.
We can predict a few answers, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so now it's time to play the game Blurt, where, so here's how it's going to go. Me and Momna are going to throw rapid fire words at you, and you're going to speak the first word that comes to mind.
Okay.
Face.
Elevator. I don't know.
I need to know the reasoning, but we'll get into that later.
I played Satisfactory recently.
Okay.
Garden.
Plant.
Quest.
Sword.
Controller.
Play.
Suing.
Suing?
Yeah. Sewing?
Oh.
Oh.
Because I was thinking lawyer.
I was just like, wait, that's not what it
But
said.
needle.
Sewing.
Needle.
Adventure.
Game.
Okay. Plants.
Leaf.
Cozy.
Game.
Maeve.
Me.
Okay, that was a good one. Okay.
Our final question: if Ctrl+Alt+Narrate had merch, what item would you pitch to the team?
I don't know. I mean, the default merch that comes to mind is like a t-shirt, but I don't know. Like if there's, headphones would be cool.
Oh,
Ooh.
yeah.
I like that.
I mean, it would be an expensive piece of merch,
Yeah,
but
if we
maybe you
had
can
the
get like,
budget.
I think, are headphone covers a thing? Like where you can customize them or like stickers?
Yeah,
I don't
maybe
know.
stickers or like the casings,
Yeah.
right?
It could work.
Or like a AirPod case or something.
Oh,
That's cute.
Yeah.
Because I have AirPods.
yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
Okay, yeah. I need like those over the phone, over the ear headphones.
Over the phone.
Over.
It's okay. You're doing your best.
I don't know. I'm coming for you today. I apologize.
No, it's okay. I think my brain is just
It's fine,
catching
it's
up
fine.
today. I'm still waking up.
No, but that's a really great idea. Thank you.
Yeah, I know.
Let's see if it's in the budget.
Oh yeah, we have to check the. All right.
Well, maybe you could crochet some cases.
or maybe you could do it.
You could sew and we can give you some leather too.
Yeah.
Oh,
We'll give you the tools, and then you can just spend your time and relax
We'll
and make
also
some for us.
invoice you for your logo idea. It's what is it called? Exposure.
Yeah.
Exposure.
If it works, it works.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Maeve. It was a pleasure to learn about all your plant expertise, and it was a pleasure to have you on the
Well,
podcast.
thank you both so much for having me.
It was amazing, honestly. I had so much fun learning about everything.
Oh, yeah, good time.
Definitely have me curious on wanting to garden now. But to our audience, thank you for supporting us and thanks for tuning in. We hope to see you in the next episode.